Good morning and welcome to the Oliveboard platform. My name is Marush Sharma, your logical reasoning expert, and we are here today to start this wonderful new series, to start this wonderful new batch, and to start and continue our sessions on the topic Venn diagram. Right now, before I begin, let me clearly know in the chat box whether I'm clearly visible and audible to all of you, and that is when I'll progress further. Today is going to be a very interesting, a very enthusiastic session, so stay glued to it till the end, and we'll be learning something new today. I'm for sure about that. So let me know if you're able to see me and hear me clearly in the chat box so that I can resume. Okay, thank you so much, Koina. Okay, thank you, Saurabh. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Right now, when I talk about logical Venn diagram, right? First of all, let us begin with what exactly is a Venn diagram. What happened is when a lot of mathematics was going on, to understand it from a perspective of not numbers but figuratively, representatively, or in an image form, graphically, right? So there was a need for that representation. If I just ask you a simple question, right, that if you are reading a novel or a book or whatever, and it is a very text heavy book, on the contrary, there is another book which is an image heavy book. Image heavy means there are a lot of images, pictorial representations, graphs. There are a lot of image information which is in the form of figures, which is more visual. So I'm sure a lot of us, people who are not ardent readers, they will fall into love with the second category. They will relate and connect more to the second category. Even as kids, we used to like content which was more, graphical. Graphical means not the real meaning, means which had more of images, right? So connecting to that, understanding that always becomes easier rather than having a lot of text. Okay. Similarly, when mathematics was being practiced, at that time, a mathematician known as Venn gave a diagrammatic representation of certain relationships, which made understanding even more easier, and that is where the development of Venn diagram happened. Now, what did Venn propose? What did Venn say? He said that in a representation, in any representation, each event or each unit is represented by an element. So they called it an element. Anything on this earth, anything can be represented in the form of a Venn diagram. Okay. So usually they started utilizing this theory, this logic in the concept of set theory. This chapter exists in class 11th mathematics, CBSE, where you learn about the concept of representation of set builder form, roster form, okay, and you learn about how to represent everything in terms of a particular format in mathematics, and then how to represent it graphically using the Venn diagram. Here, each element is either represented by a circle or any other closed figure, that is a polygon. And in the same question, maybe all the elements can be represented by various circles, or all the elements can be represented by different polygons, or everything can be mixed. Either which ways, the choice is yours. You can represent each element with a different figure, or you can represent all the elements with the same figure, not a problem, because you will label the elements, so it will segregate. So supposedly, I simply want to depict that in this class, some students are boys. So I'll simply write that if this is my class, and they are all the students which are represented inside the class, some of them are boys. So these are boys. This is the class. So some students in this class are boys. So this region depicts those students in this class who are boys. Okay, this was known as a Venn diagram. This is how any statement, any representation was converted into a symbolic form, into a graphic form. And that is how the concept of Venn diagram evolved. This is an element boys, this is another element class. Now, a lot of you who are already familiar with this concept know that in logical reasoning, you have another topic which is known as syllogism, which actually utilizes the Venn diagram as a tool. Venn diagram is used as a tool to solve and understand the question. So your statements, your relationships under syllogism are represented in the form of a Venn diagram so that you can understand better, and from that Venn diagram you draw the required conclusions. So it becomes, the process becomes easier, right? So this is the beauty of a Venn diagram. But to understand Venn diagram better, there has to be some more depth to it, right? And that is where your logical reasoning further asks you questions directly from the Venn diagram itself. So apart from syllogism, Venn diagram in itself is another topic from which direct questions are asked in the logical reasoning section. So today we'll be dealing with those questions, right? Now when I talk of logical Venn diagram, under logical Venn diagram category, your questions are majorly asked of two types. They are majorly divided or asked into two variations, two major variations, right? The first one is known as an entity based Venn diagram. Entity based Venn diagram. And the second one is known as a representative Venn diagram. Is known as a representative Venn diagram. Now I'll tell you the difference. Okay. Under the entity based Venn diagram, what exactly is going to be asked? Under the entity based Venn diagram, they will talk about relationships. They will talk about, this is depiction of relations. Depiction of relations. Okay. So anything, they'll give you, they usually give you three words, three entities, three elements, three entities, three words, one and the same thing. Minimum 3, maximum they can go up to any limit, but usually they go to 3 to 4 only, not more than that. 3, 4, 5, that is the range they'll stay in, but usually they'll give you minimum 3 words, and you will have to, keeping in mind the relationship between these 3 words, you'll have to plot a Venn diagram. You'll have to choose from an option. So you'll have 4 options given to you, and you have to choose a single option out of those 4 options, which will be the best representation of your relationship between the entities. Now, for example, I'll give you an example like fruit and mango. Okay, so you know that mango, all mangoes are fruits. This is the Venn diagram. Okay, either you can draw it like this or you can draw it like this. Some mangoes are fruits, or you can probably draw it like this. Mangoes are fruits. This is mango, this is fruit. Anything, anyways, either of them is correct. We most commonly we use this one, but these are also correct, not a problem. Right? So you studied the relationship between them and you plotted that in the form of a Venn diagram. This is the easiest way. This is the easiest way a question can be asked to you. What do you need to keep in mind? In here, you need to keep only one fact in mind, that you will be considering the best possible representation only. The best possible representation. It may not be the exact representation. Okay. But you will have to choose the best possible out of the 4 options. Clear? I'll show you how. Now, under the representative category, what will happen is, under the representative category, we have further 2 types of questions. Okay. Type number 1 is your simple representation where the figure is given. Where the figure is given. That becomes a very easy concept. Okay. So a figure like this will be given to you. Let's say A, B and C, and there will be various numbers here, 2, 3, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So there will be number of units or number of people representing these individual entities or individual elements. And then there will be questions which will be asked from this figure. So you need to analyze this figure completely, understand what is given in this figure, and accordingly answer your questions. The part which is common in all 3, A, B and C. What is the part? So you will say 2 is the part which is there in the part, in the rectangle, in the triangle and in the circle also. So you will tick on 2. That's how simple that it can get. So this is also a very easy concept. This is the easiest one in a Venn diagram. Never will you go wrong here. Okay. And the third category is from where you will not find a lot of questions. SSC does not put across a lot of questions here, but RRB has put in a few questions in the past. Okay. So we need to be careful. We need to go through this topic as well. It's a very common one as far as CAT and other examinations are concerned. Okay. This is where they ask most of the questions from. But for us also, we'll be learning it because it is important. It is a set theory based. We call it the set theory based Venn diagram, where you need to make this figure also. You need to make the figure also. The figure is not given to you. They will give you some conditions. They will give you some conditions. Okay. That these many people are this and this both. These many people are following all three. These people are only following this category. So based on all those conditions, you will draw this figure yourself. And once that figure is drawn, then you will answer the related questions. So that is a set theory based. This is the most challenging one. I mean, not normally, but they can form challenging questions under this also. So this is important. They can form challenging questions under this category. Otherwise, these are very normal. Okay. Now, to understand Venn diagrams better, here, like we isolated a relationship, fruit and mango, we said all mango are fruit. We need to understand more types of relationships. Okay. Anybody, if you have any issue, midway you can stop me and ask me, put it in the chat box. I am accessing all the available chats here. And also, the guys who are watching me on YouTube, please share this session so that more students can join in live. Okay. Share this session across platforms, because today this is for you, it's like a demo class, but I am going to teach you the actual inputs, the actual things which are related to a Venn diagram. Okay. So share it across platforms so that others can also join the session. Right. So let's continue. We'll study the types of relationships now. In Venn diagram, between elements, there are three major types of relationships. Three major types of relationships. Okay. The first one is sum. The next one is all. And the third one is no. Okay. So I'll say, for example, sum A are B. I'll say all A are B. And I'll say no A is B. Okay. No A is B. Let me call this a no relation. Let me rather call this a no relation. No relation between A and B. This is better. Okay. So sum, all, and no relation between A and B. Now, if I say sum A are B, if I say sum A are B, my Venn diagram looks like this. So whenever I see that between A and B, this relation I have to identify myself. This relation I have to identify myself. For example, doctors and male. Doctors and male. So I will say some doctors are male or some males are doctors, right? So I can automatically draw this. For me, doctors and male will be given. I will convert this into this data and draw it myself. So this is one type of relationship, sum A are B. Alright. Now, if I say all A are B, that means all elements of A are a part of B. So this is all A are B. All A are B. So fathers and male. Fathers and males. All fathers are males, definitely. So all fathers will be males. Now in reverse, if you read this, it becomes some B are A. Some males are fathers. Yeah, true. So primarily for some you will draw this figure, but if you have drawn this, this will also represent some in the reverse order. But you will draw this only when the figure all comes up. The relationship all comes up, only then will you draw this figure. And the third one is no relation. No relation means they will not be connected at all. Remember this very clearly. Remember, the word no will create a confusion. The word no, specifically for those who have already learned syllogism, or even if you will learn it now, When you will connect it with this, you will get confused. That is why I have changed the name here. I am not saying no, I am saying no relation. Remember, no relation. No relation means there is no direct connection between the two. So we'll just draw Venn diagrams which are not connected to each other. That's it. Okay, this is not no A is B. That is different. We'll learn that in syllogism, not here. Understood? So these are the three major depictions which happen in a logical Venn diagram question. Okay, for example, I'll give you, let's say, fruit, mango, tomato. Fruit, mango, tomato. All of you can try this at your end also. Now, how do we plot a Venn diagram? Obviously, we will be given 4 options. We have to choose the best representation from this. You can either look at the options and get your answer, or you can make it yourself also. So, how to avoid all sorts of confusion? What you will do is, you will look at this and you will try to find out the relationship between 2 elements. So, fruit and mango. What is the relationship between fruit and mango? All fruits are mangoes? No. Some fruits are mangoes. And all mangoes are fruits. Correct? Now, whenever you see one side is all and one side is some, you will always make the figure with pertaining to all, not with some. If both are all, both can never be all. So, if both are some, you will draw the sum figure. If one is all, one is some, you will draw the all figure. And if it is no one side, it is going to be no the other side also. So, between mango and tomato, you know there is no relation. No relation. Similarly, here also no relation. And between fruit and tomato, a lot of people still don't know this, but tomatoes are also fruits. So, all tomatoes will be fruits, but some fruits will be tomatoes. Now, you look at all these relationships and start drawing. Okay. So, mango fruit and tomato fruit, there is a relationship of all, and mango and tomato is none. So, this is the only best representation, mango, tomato and fruit. And this is how we have converted our relationship into a Venn diagram. Okay. Obviously, for you, there will be 4 options, out of which this will be one of them. So, you will simply choose this. But even if you can't do it, you can simply convert it by looking at the relationships and then plotting accordingly. Alright. Now, what are the issues which a student might face in this particular question? This is the entity based question, the first type. This is the entity based Venn diagram. The first type of question, 3 words will be given, you will convert that into a Venn diagram. The most common issue which students face are overthinking. You start thinking too much and you get into specialized cases or specific cases. Always consider them to be generic cases. Always consider generic or general cases, not specific. Remember, not special cases. Special cases will always be avoided. Okay? And never overthink. Don't overthink. It is always a very simple logic. They will never have to overthink. For example, I'll give you another example. Doctors, male, female. Now here, there is a certain category of students who ask me this question. I'll show it to you how. So you will say that doctors, some doctors are male, some males are doctors. Some doctors are female. Similarly, some females are doctors. And what about male and female? There is no male who is female. This is what you will think. Okay. So your figure will look like what? Your figure will look like this. Doctors will be here. Some males will be doctors. Some females will be doctors. This is the best representation of this Venn diagram, of this element. But there is a class of student who asks me that, sir, what about this region? What about this region? And they will also ask me, what about those males who actually are females, or vice versa, those females who are males? There are such people who exist in our world, right? We know, we call them as the third gender, or nowadays there are multiple genders which are available. Cisgenders, transgenders, there are a lot of multiple types of genders, multiple genres of genders available. Apart from the two, one masculine and feminine, We are having a lot of other gender exposures nowadays. So this is a common question from students. For more inclusivity, what do we do? The answer to this is, please do not overthink. Okay, these are all special cases and you are not considering special cases. You will only consider general cases. So for you, as far as the logic is concerned, you will only be concerned with two genders, masculine and feminine. That's it. You will not consider the third gender. So this here for you will not exist. You are simply looking at this as the best representation. If this area is vacant, not a problem. This does not have to be filled completely. All it is representing is some males are doctors, some doctors are male, some doctors are females. That's it. That's all. Okay, I'll give you another example. A very common fallacy, a very common error which a lot of students do. Supposedly, actor, singer and doctor. Actor, singer, doctor. Now, without showing the relationship, I will first plot the Venn diagram and I'll tell you what most of the students feel is right. So they will say actor, singer, doctor. This is the most common representation given by students for this particular Venn diagram. Okay, and they say that some actors can be singers, some singers can be doctors, some doctors can be actors, and some people can be all three of them. This is the best representation. Sorry, my friends, this is not. Under the category of logical Venn diagrams, each profession is treated differently. So, a person has to be a professional actor, a professional singer, and a professional doctor to be all three together. Okay, and there also there are some students who tell me that okay, actors and singers can still be common, and we'll have doctors separately. This is also incorrect. Then they tell me, sir, there is one actor who sings, there is one actress who sings using auto tune and whatever. They are all special cases. They are all special cases. Being an actor is a separate profession. Being a singer is a separate profession. Being a doctor is a separate profession. So the most common answer and the best possible representation is this. The best possible representation is this. But again, this depends on the options. If this is not there in the options and this is there, then you choose this. But if this is there in the options, this is the most preferred answer for you, because professions are treated separately only. Professions will always be different in logical Venn diagrams. Each profession is different. Singing may be a hobby of an actor. So that person cannot become a singer. A singer has to be a professional singer. And these days a lot of actors are singing only because they have a hobby of singing. So they just sing professionally on the platform. But that is a totally different case, and these are all special cases. You will never consider special cases as far as Venn diagrams are concerned. Done. I think this gives you a fair idea of what Venn diagrams are about, what entity based Venn diagrams are all about. Okay. If I give you some examples, you can maybe take a shot, because I have already given you some. I think 2 is enough. Draw both of these. So just try them at your end. Let me know when you're done. I'll start discussing right away. Metal, copper, sodium, and jute, fiber, cotton. Done. Very good. SK SSC CGL 1. Okay. Good. Let me see. The others also, I would request, please participate in the class as much as you can. There are a lot of students who are viewing this class today. I am very happy with the attendance, but also participate. Make it more interactive. Keep asking questions. Okay. So, metal, copper, sodium. A lot of students get confused here with the word sodium and metal. Those who are good at chemistry, those who remember their school time chemistry, they are very sure that sodium is a metal. Otherwise, a lot of others think that the moment you think of sodium, you think of this, no? This is what comes to your mind. The table salt consists of sodium and chloride, NaCl, and that is where you feel that sodium is not a metal. That is where you go wrong, guys. Sodium is a metal. Copper is also a metal. Copper and sodium are not related to each other. So, we can say that some metals are copper. All copper is metal. Some metals are sodium. All sodiums are metal. And no copper is sodium. So, the figure is the same again, like fruit, mango and tomato. Sodium, copper and metal. I wanted to write Na, but anyways. Jute, fiber and cotton. Again, jute and cotton. They are both types of fibers, but they are not related to each other. So, both will have the same Venn diagram. Both will have the same Venn diagram. Hopefully, those who have made an error, they will rectify it now. Okay, common misconceptions. Alright, let's proceed further now. If you have any issue, any doubt, you can put it in the chat box. Otherwise, I'll continue from here on now. Now we move on to the next type, which is the representative type. What happens under this category? So, I'll give you an example of a figure. A figure like this is given to us. This is the figure. So, the question will be that a Venn diagram given below represents Indians, farmers and educated. The circle represents Indians, the triangle represents farmers and the square represents educated people. And the number written inside each category represents the number of people who belong to that category. This is the question given to you. Now, they'll ask you various questions from this. They'll ask you, now you'll have to just give me the answers. How many Indian farmers are educated? How many Indian farmers are educated? How many Indian farmers are educated? Indian farmers are educated. Yes, anyone else? Okay. Yes, SSC CGL alone and Kongsai. Kongsai is giving me a different answer altogether. How many Indian farmers are educated? See, when I say Indian farmers are educated, they have to be, Indians means they have to be in the circle. Farmers means they have to be in the triangle. Educated means they have to be in the square. So, they have to be in all three together to give me my answer. Okay. They have to be in all the three together to give me my answer. So, they have to be in the circle also, triangle also and square also. And I think only this is the number which satisfies your given answer. This region is the region which is common in all the three parts. So, my answer becomes 11. My answer becomes 11. I can't see anywhere else where the triangle, circle and square are common. Is it? This 5 is there in the circle and square but not in the triangle. 9 is only. Yeah, can you see me and hear me now? There was a light cut here actually. Perfect, perfect. So my question to you was, how many uneducated foreigners, how many uneducated foreigners are farmers? So uneducated means they will not be in the category of educated. They will not be in the square. Foreigners means they will not be in the category of Indians. They will only be in the category of farmers. And how many are there? There are only 3 such people. So this is what they are looking for. Remember, listen to the question and then always give an answer. They will not always ask you words which are listed here. They can ask you anything. They will not write how many are not educated. They will write uneducated. One and the same thing. They will not write not Indians. They will write foreigners. One and the same thing. Okay. So that is how you read, understand and then answer your question. This is a representative based part. Now, in the next part of representative, what data is given to you? Supposedly, they will give you a data that there are 2 subjects in a class. There are 2 subjects in a class, English and Maths. English and Maths. There are 2 subjects and I would say, let's say there are a total of 100 students in the class. Okay, this is all this data is given to you. 100 students in the class, 2 subjects, English and Maths. 55 students have passed in English. Okay, and 38 students have passed in Maths. 55 students have passed in English and 38 students have passed in Maths. And there are 10 students who have passed in both. 10 students who have passed in both. Okay, now they are asking you how many passed only in English. So what will you do? You will draw a Venn diagram. You will say that there is a subject English and there is a subject Maths. Some people might have passed only in English, some only in Maths, some in both. Now you will always start your Venn diagram, filling your Venn diagram with the commonest region, that is the intersection, that is the most central region. Okay, if there were 3 entities, you would have always started filling from here. So now you will say 10 I have passed in both, so 10 are here. I am saying English 55 has passed. 55 is total under English category, out of which 10 are for both. So how many are for English only? They are 45. 55 minus 10. Similarly, 38 are under the Maths category. 10 are under both. So how many only in Maths? 28. How many only in Maths? 28. Now the total has to be 100. Check the total here. What is the total? $83, right? The total is 83. So there are 100 people, but only 83 are given here. What about the rest of them? So the 17 people are outside this Venn diagram in the union, in the universal set. And these people are those who have not passed in any examination. So the question to you was, how many have passed only in English? There are 45 such students who have passed only in English. How many are those who have passed only in Maths? 28 have passed only in Maths. How many students have passed the examination? So 45 plus 28 plus 10. And how many students have failed the examination? 17 students have failed the examination. This is how you draw a set theory based question or a representative based question where the figure also has to be made by you. Yeah, CGL1. This happens as an issue whenever there's a light cut, then there's a streaming problem. So don't worry about the sync. All you need to do is focus on the video right now and listen to what I'm trying to say. Okay. When you'll watch the recording, it will be okay. Yeah, it happens due to streaming issue. Let's move on to the next. So now what will happen after this is, this was still an easier version. When it becomes difficult, when you have a set of 3 entities given to you. And sometimes all the data is not given. So you'll have to assume the data. Supposedly they are telling you that there are 3 subjects, let's say. English, Maths and Chemistry. They have given you all the data that these many students passed in English, these many in Maths, these many in Chemistry. Everything is given. But how many passed in all 3 is not given to you. And I told you your numbering will always start from the central region. So you will assume this to be X. And according to this region, you will find out the numbers in terms of x for the other regions and then try to solve the question to get your correct answer. I might have brought one question here pertaining to that part, that level. So we'll discuss that. You'll get to know what I'm talking about. Okay. But so far so good. Anybody who has a problem in Venn diagram so far? Anybody? With this, we are done with the theory part completely. So entity based, representative based, figure is given, figure is not given. I've explained everything to you. All the little details which you need to know about, which you need to be careful about. I have listed them down. If you are ready, we'll start the practice. Just let me know. Okay? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Thank you. Koinam is an old student of mine. So, yeah, thank you so much. So, there is a knowledge that now if this person is asking a question, we'll have to answer. Otherwise, he'll stick there only. Yeah, so this is the very first question. Some of them are from railways examinations, some of them from SSC examinations. It's a good mix, and I think by now you have understood why I'm mixing the questions, so that you get a better understanding about the level of the examinations and the kind of questions which can be asked. Okay, now read this part and these options and let's see who gives me the correct answer. Those who are watching on YouTube, please participate. Please give me answers. And if you're not understanding something, please let me know. Okay. So in the following figure, rectangle represents students, circle represents girls, oval represents arts faculty, triangle represents sports, number of given in the different parts represent number of people. How many girl students have opted for arts faculty but do not participate in sports? Okay, so the first part. Now in this case, whenever you will be encountering this sort of a question, it will always be on a screen, right? So a lot of students, while practicing from books, they have a habit of labeling them here only. Don't do that. That's useless for you, because on the screen you will not be able to label. So make it a habit now only. Look at this figure. Straight away associate the shapes with the entities in your head and then solve the question. So the question is asking you, girl students. Girl students means rectangle and circle. There should be a part of the circle and the rectangle. Okay. And have opted for the arts faculty. So the oval also. So the circle, rectangle and oval, but not sports. So not in the triangle. So it should be a part of the circle, the oval and the rectangle, but not the triangle. I can clearly see 211 is the answer. And that makes only option A as the correct one? No. Yeah. But still, let me check the other one also. The other question is, and how many students participate in sports but are not girls and have opted for the arts faculty? So not girls mean only those who are in the circle should not be there. The other three should be there. They should be there in the triangle, in the oval and in the rectangle. So it is 178. So option A is the clear cut answer. Okay. Next. What is the sum total of the following? Okay, very good. Women academicians who are teachers. Academicians is A, women are D, and teachers are E. So A, D, E have to be a part of A, D, and E. Women academicians who are teachers. So D, A, and E. D, A, and E is 19. So that's the first part. Okay, part number 1. Next is teachers who are doctors. Teachers who are doctors. E and C. E and C. Only 20 is there. The next is men who are neither teachers nor academicians. B is men and neither teachers nor academicians. So only 28 will be left. They are asking you for the sum of this. So this is 47 and 20, 67. Option D is the right answer. Okay. Next. Okay. So, which of the following statements is correct based on the given diagram? The number of coffee lovers who are both graduates and soldiers. Who are both graduates and soldiers is 90. No. Only coffee lovers who are soldiers is 90. This is incorrect. Number of graduates who are also coffee lovers but not soldiers is 65. Yes, this is the right one. Option B is the correct one. Graduates who are coffee lovers but not soldiers are 65. So option B is the right one. You don't have to check for the others. Okay. Okay. How many volunteers are supervisors but neither donors nor field workers? How many volunteers are supervisors? So we need triangle and the vertical rectangle. Okay, triangle and the vertical rectangle, but they should not be under the oval and the horizontal rectangle. Do we have any of such numbers? I don't think so. Okay, There are no such numbers which are a part of both the triangle and the vertical rectangle, but not the other figures. So option C, 0 is the correct answer. Okay. Next. Okay. Now, what does the region 13 represent? So, 13 is under the category of painters and plumbers and also watchmen, right? Plumbers, painters and watchmen and not carpenters. Number of carpenters, no. Number of painters who are only watchmen, no. Number of painters who are only plumbers and neither watchmen nor carpenters, no. Number of painters who are plumbers and also watchmen but not carpenters. Option D is the right answer. Option D is the right answer. Next. Shaded areas do not exist. Read this question carefully. It's a very wonderful way of asking the question. If the shaded areas do not exist, then which conclusion can be validly drawn? Very interesting question. I am sure those who are preparing for SSC, they have never come across this type of a question. So that is why you guys treat J, Joss. No, this is not the right answer. Try it. Okay, I think this was the previous question's answer. Right. Try for this particular question now. So that is where things become challenging now. Okay, you'll have to bring in your A game. You'll have to realize that logical reasoning is not that as simple as you expect it to be. Can be slightly different also. Okay. Now, if you remove the shaded portion, what exactly is left? So we'll have this circle for the artist, this whole circle for the cartoonist, and this whole circle for the billionaires. So basically, this figure is nothing but this artist, cartoonist, billionaire. This figure can be redrawn like this. Now tell me. Now I have made it easier for you. Now you can tell me what is the correct answer. Correct, Kongsai. Now everybody can tell me what is the correct answer immediately. All billionaires are artists? No. All artists are cartoonists? Yes. No artists are billionaires? No. And all cartoonists are artists? No. So option B is the only correct answer here. Clear? Yes, good job. Very good. Very good. Next. This one is set theory based. You have to draw the figure yourself. But I think I'll have to give you the data. No, let's keep this question later on. We'll do this later on. Try this one. So data in the English version is not given. I'll have to give it to you. Okay, we'll keep this as the last question. for today. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow and we'll continue with the practice session for Venn diagrams. Excellent questions. There are some good collection of questions which I have today. I mean for tomorrow. Not regular simple questions only. There will be some challenging mixed questions as well. And if time permits, I have a wonderful cat question also which I would want to do it with you. So if time permits, I would love to add that. My agenda is to remove that fear of logical reasoning from your head, or any competitive exam for that matter. Okay, here they are asking us punctual, honest and brave. They are asking to find the value of D basically. Okay. %38% are punctual and honest. %48 are honest and brave. If it's in percentage, let's keep it like this only, no? 38 are punctual and honest. But I think if this is D, this is 38 minus D, right? 48 are honest and brave. Honest and brave, 48 minus D. And 36 are punctual and brave. 36 minus D. What percentage are punctual, honest and brave? So this plus D plus A. They have not given the value of A, no? So DA, DB, DC. I can make 3 equations and then I can add all of them to get 100. Yeah. So I'll give you a hint here. We'll solve this later on. Okay. What can be done is you can make an equation between D and A here. In the first case, 38 minus D plus 36 plus D plus A equal to 62. Then similarly 38 minus D plus 48 minus D plus B equal to 58. 48 minus D, 36 minus D plus C equal to 70. And you add all of them. A, B, C, D and these 3 will be equal to the total sum, 100%. Okay. So make those equations and solve, you will get the value of D from there. Or what can be a better option is, it may be time consuming, but what can be a better option is convert this 75-100% into numbers and then try to approach it. You will still be able to solve this question. Okay. And if you otherwise look at this, 22 and 32, we can have 2 answers, no? We can have 2 answers here. 68 and 90 will never be a possible answer. If I give it as 22, you can check it randomly. Let's see. 22. So this is 16. This is 22. This is 14. And this is how much? 62 minus the sum of these 3. 16, 14 is 30. 30 and 22 is 52. 52, 62 is 10. And if I keep it as 32, I'll have 6 here, 4 here, 32 here, 6, 4, 10, 32, 42, 62, 20. This is still doable. So we'll have to solve this and check only. There's no other way actually. Okay. We'll start from here tomorrow, right? Because I have a session right away after this. So I'll have to end it here. But we'll continue from this question tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. The formula is always there, but I want to do this with a figure. I can apply the set theory formula right away directly and give you your answer. Okay, but we'll try doing it with a figure. Alright, because everybody might not be aware with the set theory formula, and also I'll also share the set theory formulas with you tomorrow. Right? On that note, I'll end the session here. Hopefully you understood what we did today. We'll continue from here tomorrow. If you have any doubts for me, any questions for me, you can put it in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll resume tomorrow and continue from there. Yes. No? All right. Thank you so much for joining live, guys. Bye bye. Namaskar. Jai Hind. I'll see you guys tomorrow.